while preserving the key points: the wild colonial boy, myth, history, and meaning. The wild colonial boy is generally believed to be either a wholly fictional character or very loosely based on the convict bushranger Bold Jack Donahoe, active during the 1820s. However, there was a juvenile bushranger named Jack Doolan, who, according to the song, was born in Castlemaine, Victoria. He was briefly active around Bendigo in 1872. While his story is faintly reflected in the song, the central incidents are more likely drawn from the bushranging careers of Donahoe and Harry Power, who was Ned Kelly's mentor. In the bush tradition and the folk song revival, the wild colonial boy is perhaps the most widely sung of all bushranger ballads. Who the wild colonial boy truly was remains uncertain. Was his name Dowling, Dolan, or Duggan? Did his wild career begin in 1861, 1863, or 1864? The many versions of the ballad differ on these and other details. Today, it is generally presumed that he was not a real historical figure, but rather a mythological composite hero, the quintessential Australian outlaw of the 1860s and 70s. The ballad has been sung to various tunes, of which the most familiar is also considered the most dismal, created by an Irish comedian. The story of Jack Doolan. A version of the story tells of a wild boy named Jack Doolan, born and raised in Ireland in a place called Castlemaine. He was the only son of poor but loving parents who never let him feel deprived. The wild boy was their pride, glory, and hope. However, social inequality and a flawed judicial system turned him cruel and rebellious. At the age of 16, he left home and took refuge in the Australian bush. He robbed wealthy landlords and farmers, redistributing their wealth to the poor. He was said to have killed many dishonest and corrupt figures who exploited the underprivileged, becoming a symbol of terror to the citizens. Over 2 years, he grew more ruthless and gained a reputation as a daring and fearless bushranger. Among his many exploits, he robbed the mail coach and even Judge McAvoy. In a letter to the judge, he accused him of injustice, ruining innocent lives and creating outlaws like himself. Eventually, 3 troopers were sent to capture him. One of them, named Fitzroy, shot and captured him. Themes and social context. The primary theme of the ballad is the conflict between law and individual freedom. A secondary theme is the blurred line between good and evil, where the wild colonial boy may be seen as a heroic rebel and the troopers as the oppressive force. The poem reflects how convicts, made desperate by severe punishments, would risk everything for freedom, even facing starvation in the unforgiving bush. For many, the dream of freedom was personal, but it gradually became a broader social aspiration. Australian society at the time was deeply divided. Class distinctions, snobbery, and inequality were entrenched. The man who sold a sheep alive ranked above the butcher who sold it dead. A bank manager or doctor stood socially above a school teacher. The wealthy enjoyed many non-monetary privileges denied to the poor. Australia's early society began as an autocracy and evolved into an oligarchy, ruled by a handful of army officers, officials, and pastoralists. Middle-class voices had little influence, and a deep gulf of inequality shaped the nation's early character. Let me know if you'd like a version suitable for an essay, presentation, or classroom summary.